So this exercise we're going into now is called a can-can. It's another way of saying standing hip flexion. So if you've seen the other videos where, this will help perform the knee up towards the ceiling. So I'm using ankle weights. That's through time for progressions. Ankle weights, they can come in once, the simple stuff gets easier. So you can perform adduction and abduction too, up to you, but I found that really helpful too. So while inflection and abduct, they're just as important while doing anything, any activity throughout life that will help a lot. You feel like the stabilization of the hip joints kicking in, the fire at the hip rotators, anything abducting or external rotation, internal. But we can also focus on the hip flexion. You can lift your foot off the ground. You can also use a pole. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can use a wall or maybe a furniture so you can, gain a bit of balance. So you can lift up. If you can't lift any higher, just stay there in that position, contract. And you want to feel maybe the upper thigh muscle kicking in. So you want to fire up the hip flexors, and if you can't, just over time, go higher and higher, but you want to go beyond the 90-degree angle. So you want to go higher and then extend your leg out, but it's pretty tricky with the ankle weight on, but ankle weights, it's usually good for the other ones I showed you before. But in time, I'll show you first. So from here, like you see ballet dancers, they're always trying to lift their leg up because the women in ballerina or ballet dancers, they've got really, really strong hip flexors and pretty flexible. That will, over time, don't force yourself, like bring your back up. So over time, you can have it bring your leg out. You can play around different angles. In time, you go above the 90 and extend out, or you can, if you can't do that, have your leg out straight. Do contraction 3 to 5 seconds, probably like 5 sets. Later on, maybe you can do 10-second holds and lift up slowly. So it's pretty experimental. It's what I enjoy. It's one of my favorite rehab exercises for the hip flexors. Having strong hip flexors is good for. It's responsible for the front splits, which I get into later on, and responsible for squatting and any activity involving a lot of flexion and like that's even just sitting down all day and or squatting, all that stuff. The hip flexion is responsible for a lot of movement and motions. But make sure all your exercises, make sure they're all slow and controlled. Very slowly. Don't like rush it, like bring it up. Start slowly if you struggle, and you might get maybe a sore sensation. Do it before the pain starts to set in, and just concentrate, just firing up the hip flexors, and later on keep moving up. Maybe relax and maybe soft tissue work initially, and give this a go. I think you really enjoy these. I started to enjoy more when I do the abduction work, because I like firing up the hip rotators. They really help stabilize me when I'm running long distances. Really up to you. You can focus on hip flexion, different angles, adduction, abduction. So yeah, give this a try. I think you'll enjoy these ones too.